And then that was pretty much it. My daughter does collect patches and pins, and she did get just a regular patch that's just the Hershey bar, and it just says Hershey's. And then she got the pin that just says my first visit. But one of the other things I wanted to say was, so when we went back to the lodge, they do have several restaurants there, and um, there is one that is pretty much like the best family friendly restaurant that they have, and it's called the Bear's Den. And they have things like, the fried foods, like the chicken strips, and they have salads, and they have burgers and things like that in there. They do have some other things. I think they have like salmon and, just big salads and things like that, soup. So one thing about it is when we went there for lunch, it was our first time in there, and so they did bring out with our ticket this cup, which was really cute, and it was full of Hershey Kisses. This is a pretty big cup, and I think we ended up spending about $30 in there eating, and it was full of Hershey Kisses with our meal. So I was really very impressed with that. I do want you to know though, this only happened once in the whole week that we were there. So I don't know why it did, and I don't know why it didn't the rest of the time, but it did. And so it actually tells you that it has Hershey's Chocolate Works at the Hershey Lodge there, and that is their indoor water area, which has the swimming pool slides and things like that. So we did get this while we were there. And I know I talked about the lodge having the chocolate aroma whenever you walk in, the aroma of cocoa supposed to come out of the vents, and it was only in one area. So one of the things it also said was that each one of the rooms came with shampoo, conditioner, soaps, and things like that that are also cocoa infused. Well, this is what they're talking about. There are these little bitty bottles like this that is shampoo, conditioner, body soap, and the facial soap. So you get a couple of these when you get there. Due to the fact that they're not coming in and cleaning, you have to actually request more of this kind of stuff if you need it. They will bring it to you if you ask them to, but they're just going to bring you a little bit as you go. They do have this for sale down in the gift shop. I think the shampoo was $10 a bottle. It's a bigger bottle than this, but it's not a huge bottle. I think it was $10. I think the conditioner was $10 and things like that. They do have everything there plus some more stuff. Like they have shaving cream and stuff like that. So here's the thing. It is cocoa infused, but it does not really smell like cocoa. For some reason or another, it does smell, but it doesn't have the smell you think it's going to have. And for some reason or another, it kind of smells like licorice. I don't know. I haven't yet figured that out. We've used it. We used it while we were there. They brought us some more. I brought some home because I knew I wanted to have it for the video to show, and then, to keep or to use later. But it does smell a little like licorice. This is the body soap, and it has cocoa infused on there as well. It doesn't smell like cocoa to me. It kind of smells maybe like cocoa butter, maybe, if you've ever had anything that's like cocoa butter. But it's not really cocoa. I mean, I don't know. It's so hard to explain. And we had so much more excitement going into this trip, and everything just didn't really meet what our expectations, I guess. It just really wasn't as good as we thought it was going to be. So anyway, fast forward to the end of our trip. So the end of the trip, we went back to Harrisburg to the airport. Took 30 minutes for them just to check our bags in, and that is not standing in line. That is literally us standing up at the front trying to get our bags checked in. for some reason or another, we did the check-in on the phone the night before. Apparently American Airlines was having problems with it, and it kept not wanting to check us in on the first leg of the flight. Our first leg was from Harrisburg back to Chicago, and it would not check us in there. It would only check us in on the second leg where we left Chicago coming home. So they kept having problems with that. I had problems doing it the night before. I actually called American Airlines, talked to them on the phone. That took about an hour. They couldn't get it to work. They just simply said, when you go to the airport tomorrow, just go a little bit early, go to the line, and they'll do it there, and they'll go ahead and just print out your tickets, because being that it was having trouble online, I definitely did not want to rely on it showing up on my phone and everything working. And I'm glad I didn't, and that's coming up as to why. But so finally, after about 30 minutes, she was able to get us checked in, get our bags checked in and everything else. And then our flight got delayed 3 different times and then canceled. The second flight out got delayed and then canceled, and then that's when we were stuck. But when we did get to the airport, the first thing we did was go to Starbucks there, and we bought the Been There series mug. So this is the Pennsylvania mug. Says it's the Keystone State. It's got the bell, it's got deer. It just tells you everything about it. I haven't actually really just sat down and looked at this. Everything has just been so tiresome, and we're just drained still from that trip. Hopefully we'll start getting our energy back and everything pretty soon. But it's got the Appalachian Mountains, groundhog, and so you can just kind of see it's got the Philadelphia cheesesteak on there. Anyway, it's got all that on. The inside of this one is green, and it's kind of a mid green. It's not a dark or a light green, but it's kind of a middle green. We did get that one. After that was when everything started going downhill. The airport closes at 8. All the restaurants were closed by the time we left out of there. We were able to get a pretzel, and that was it. That was the last pretzel in Auntie Anne's before they closed. And then we were just kind of stuck until at midnight that night when we got a ride to Baltimore, Maryland. So when we got to Baltimore, we did have to sit in the airport for several hours. They got us out at 6 a.m. We were not able to get a Starbucks Been There mug there because for some reason or another that Starbucks doesn't open until 6 a.m. and our flight was at 6, so we had to be on the plane before 6 o'clock. So I did not get one there. However, I'm going to say I'm very happy I did not get one there, because that means we were not stuck at yet another airport. We did go from there to Charlotte, North Carolina. When we got to Charlotte, North Carolina, the very first thing we were able to do was we walked out right beside a Starbucks, got in line, and we were actually there when they opened. Oddly, they opened at 9, and that's when we got there. So we were one of the very first ones into the store. We were able to get one of the Been There mugs there also. Now, also on this Pennsylvania mug, we noticed that the airport, and I questioned it, and they said they were allowed to do it. I don't know if this is true or not, but they actually marked that price up to $15.50 instead of the $12.95. I was not happy about that. I did pay the price though, because I was wanting the cup, and I was already very extremely frustrated with it all. So we went ahead and did that. So again, I don't know if they are actually able to do that. That was in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So again, another experience there that was not great. So then when we got to Charlotte, North Carolina, we did go into the Starbucks on our way to our flight going out. And it's a very beautiful cup to me. I love blue, as y'all know, and so it has several different shades of blue on it. And it has so much on it that it just keeps going and going and going. and it's the Old North State, and it talks about the Blue Ridge Mountains. Um, and it has just all the different animals and sceneries and their flag and the Whitewater Falls and everything like that on it. It's a beautiful blue interior also. It's almost a robin egg blue. And so I was able to get it, and it was the correct price, the $12.95. So I have messaged Starbucks about this, about the fact that they charged more. I've not received a response. I have actually messaged Starbucks about several things in the past like this. I never get a response from them, so I'm not going to hold my breath that I'm going to get a response on that one either. But anyway, I don't think they should be allowed to do that because it was an actual Starbucks store there. So I don't think they should be able to do it, but they do apparently, and it wasn't just on that one, it was on everything that they had. They marked them all up. So anyway, and so just to kind of give you a recap, I got the Pennsylvania and the North Carolina when we were there. I did already have the Arkansas, which is the green and yellows, the multicolored greens. It has the green interior. I showed this one before on one of my first videos. And then we got the Florida one, I believe it was at the beginning of this month, or the end of last month, I can't remember, when we got it as well. And it has the beautiful pink inside it. So now, on this Been There series, I should have probably close to a dozen of these mugs now. And I have 4. I don't know why. It just happens. Airport Starbucks is just so hard to get anything from because you're normally in a hurry. You're trying to go from one concourse to another concourse, trying to get to your gate. And so you really don't have a whole lot of time to spend there unless it's the airport that you start off in. And so I was not able to get one in Atlanta, Georgia. I was not able to get one in Chicago, Illinois. I did not get one in Missouri. I mean, there's just been so many that I've not been able to get on just due to the fact that either Starbucks was not open at the time or we were in such a hurry that we were not able to get it because we would have missed our flight. So, yeah, so anyway, that's where we are on the Been There series. I am going to still keep collecting these. Hopefully, we'll be able to get some more before too long. I really don't know when our next trip is going to be. So, I'm going to be honest with you. This trip has me gun shy. I don't like to drive. I have anxiety with driving, and so I don't like to drive very far at all. I don't like to get out of my comfort zone anymore. I used to drive all over. I used to not mind going all over the country. And then the last couple of years, anxiety has just really gotten to me after breaking down a couple of times and being in a wreck, and being away from home and having issues. So it has gotten to me. I'm working on it, trying to get to where we can go places again and be okay. But for now, it's just not happening. So I don't know when the next time is that we will be flying out or going anywhere. Like I said, I'm really gun shy right now due to what happened at this last trip. Hopefully in the fall. It's almost August, so hopefully in the fall I will feel better about it. Everything will be a lot better, and we will be able to actually go somewhere again. And I'll be able to keep going with the Starbucks mugs. So I have actually thought about trying to reach out and just buy them and have them sent to me for the ones that I should have already gotten. But and they do sell them on like Amazon, so I could get those, but they're a lot higher price there, and it's just not worth it to me to pay that extra price for something that I know it's not the value of it. For some people, they would be like, just go ahead and get it because you should have gotten it before, or just pay the extra price for it. But it's just kind of, the fun is collecting them. So that's one of the things that I said that I had reached out to Starbucks before and not gotten a response. So one of the things that I actually reached out to Starbucks with is that mainly at the airport stores. I made a recommendation that for the products that are not drinks, that are just out and about, like the cups and gift cards and cookies and things like that, that you don't have to actually ask to be handed to you and pay for, that they consider putting in a kiosk to where you can check out your own merchandise and things like that. And I feel like it would be very simple for them to do. I feel like next to the entrance or the exit, they could put one there and have the merch right there with it. They could very easily, make it to where they have an alarm or something go off if it's not scanned if they need to. But I feel like they could sell a lot more. I feel like their lines would be a lot shorter and it would take a lot less time to do a self-check kiosk for things like that. And so you could just get the merch that you were wanting. One of my daughters loves their cups, and so she likes to get just the cold liquid cups. And after hers wear out, she likes to get other ones. And so, when she's wanting to get one of those cups, you could simply just go up there, get your cup, check it out, put it in a bag, and go. And the same with the Been There coffee mugs. I feel like they would sell a lot more of this kind of stuff if you could do something like that, because you could go up, get what you needed, check out, and go. And for people like me that are trying not to miss their next flight, they could do that and get it and just be on their way. And therefore, if that was the case, I wouldn't have missed really any of these, because I would have been able to just go up there, get it, pay for it, and keep going. So I did make that recommendation to Starbucks. Starbucks, if you're listening, I think you would sell a lot more. I think you would make it worth it, and I think it would make everybody a lot happier to go in to buy that kind of stuff. The lines are long. They are very, very, very long at airports. And so when you have things like that, if they're just buying the foods that are out front or the waters or things like that that they can just pick up, they could go over, pick it up, go to the kiosk, check themselves out, keep going, and that would make your lines about half as long. So just know, it's not just because I'm complaining about the length of the line. I think this will benefit you as well as us. So anyway, so that really is about all we got while we were there. I am one of these people that I tend to buy more stuff when I'm happy where I am. No doubt in my mind, I spend a lot more money when I'm places like Universal Studios in Orlando. We love it there. We love the theme parks. We love the restaurants. We love the resorts. The resorts are not very expensive compared to Hershey Lodge. And it's just, everything is just so much nicer feeling. We don't have issues really getting an Uber there. We don't have issues going from the airport to where we need to be. We've really not had issues like that before, and so we buy a lot more, and we're happier to have all the stuff that they have to offer, and we're happy to promote those places because we love it there. And so we just didn't get very much while we were here because we just didn't feel the need to represent what they have. Don't get me wrong, we eat Hershey's chocolate here, and there's a lot of them that we love, but as far as going there, I just can't recommend it. So anyway, so I just want to kind of share with you our haul of what we got and our terrible experience and explain as to why we have not been videoing and sharing videos here lately. So anyway, I think there will be about 3 or 4 videos. This actually may be split into 2 due to the length of video that it has taken for this little bit of stuff. But I just want to be upfront and honest with you guys, and I just want to share with you the good things and the bad things, and I don't want to steer you into going somewhere that we wish we had never even gone. And so therefore that is why I'm putting this one up here this way. Like I said, if you had a good experience and you love Hershey and you can recommend it, please leave me a comment. Let me know. Was it just bad timing? Was there something better that we should have done? Do they have more to offer? Where did we go wrong? Because we love to travel and this was just a horrible experience from the get-go. Okay, and so I did want to add in here that I was talking about us getting the paper tickets when we were at the airport, and I said I would go further into that. Well, I'm going to do that now. So, okay, so when you first do your tickets and so forth, they tell you to download the app and do everything through your mobile device. And I always get paper tickets. I don't know why, but we did have an issue when we were in Orlando the last time, and one of our phones started trying to crash. And so I was really glad that we did have paper tickets at that time, just in case, because I hadn't really thought about that as an issue. And so we did have paper tickets. Well, this time I also got paper tickets, especially I was glad that I did whenever we got there and started having issues with trying to check in the second time because it wasn't allowing us to do that. And so we had to go up to the front anyway. And I did get paper tickets then when they finally were able to get us in. So when they delayed our flight and then ended up canceling it, they ended up saying that, there was another flight coming in. They would try to put everybody on it that still wanted to. Some others, they actually went another route and got just another flight. Some of them went to other airlines, wishing I had at that time. But anyway, so they didn't actually print us out a ticket then. They did print out one ticket that said to return at 6 a.m. 2 days later. And that was all that we were given. And so when I ended up going back up at midnight and they ended up giving us flights out of Baltimore, I noticed at that point that my app actually just stopped recognizing us as having a flight. So when I got to Baltimore, I did have the printed tickets, thankfully, that I was able to hand them. But whenever we actually looked into my account, there was nothing there. And so at that point, whenever they actually assigned us seats and so forth, there was still nothing in the app. Our numbers were still in there, but after that point, it just was blank. And so from Baltimore through Charlotte and then Charlotte home, nothing. And if I look in there still now, there's nothing. So my recommendation is make sure you get printed tickets, because if they end up delaying your flight and canceling it or putting you on a different flight or something like that, it's not necessarily going to show up. And I really don't know how you would prove anything at that point, because you're just kind of there with nothing. And I never dreamed that that would happen. I never dreamed that we would be, sitting there not showing a flight at all through the app. So definitely make sure you get printed tickets. And with that being said, I hope you have a wonderful day.